All right. As requested, I will be doing um, both shots of the video today. Um, hopefully, my previous videos have been doing pretty well. Looks like we've been working on some things, and I really like all the adjustments we've made. One thing I can see immediately is our hands are ahead of the ball here. That's awesome. All right, that just sets us up into a great position to get ready to hit the ball. Today I'm using a video of Tiger's swing. Let me clear that one out here. Let me get one of just that shaft there going forward. So it's minuscule, but it is there. You know, the shaft ahead, but everything has been looking really good. I really like the progressions that you've made, and now it's time to add in some power. You know, it's fun to hit the ball far. So today I'm going to work on some things just to help you hit it just a little bit farther. So I'm going to slow-mo play Tiger Swing here. I'm going to stop at the top. Actually, I'm going to stop. I want you to watch this a few times, this takeaway here. See how his hands come back nice and wide here. There's a gap between his hands and his hip here. I'll slow this down again. Being wide adds power. All right, I'm going to head over here. I want you to notice one thing. Look where our body is, and look where the club, or look where our torso is pointing here, and look where the torso is pointing on your side. See how Tiger's chest is pointing somewhere over here. We've taken the club back directly with just our wrists, not getting the upper body involved enough here at the beginning, and it can have an effect on our swing totally. It can affect our timing, it can affect our consistency. So one thing I want you to work on is what's called a one-piece takeaway, and I want you to see this triangle I'm going to draw here. On Tiger's setup, I'm going to draw one on yours as well. Let me draw it here. May not be perfect, but it's going to get the point across. There we go. All right, watch this triangle on Tiger's. See how he keeps that intact relatively a while? I mean, one would even argue that there's still a triangle here, but his chest is moving as well. His upper body is moving. Once again, his chest is pointing somewhere around here to here. He's starting to turn his upper body. All right, this area is starting to turn. And when we take it back, this area right here staying pretty still all the way until we start getting the club up. All right, so that's one thing. Just work on that one-piece takeaway of getting that upper body engaged a little bit faster, which leads us into our next thing we're going to work on. Is I want you to watch how much Tiger turns behind the ball here. I mean, he turns his upper body. All right, I'm going to stop us both here. Look at Tiger's back here. His back is pointing almost at the target, where our back is pointing almost a little bit behind you. What this is called shoulder turn. Tiger has more than 90 degrees. 90 degrees would be a straight line here. If he was to match that, his shoulders to that, he's 90 degrees. He's well past that. That's where all his power comes from. He's got his back turned behind the ball, and his shoulders are, 120 degrees behind him. All right, where our back is pointing a little bit behind us, and our shoulder turn isn't 90 degrees. Hasn't reached 90 degrees, I should say. So this is going to feel really odd, and to help you do this, you're going to even have to turn your hips more back behind you a little bit as well. And like I said, you're going to feel almost like you're stretching. I mean, this is what's called the coil in your backswing. We're coiling our body to hit this ball. You're winding up like a wind-up toy, you know, and or have you ever maybe when you were a kid you played with those cars that are on the ground and you drag the car on the ground and let it go and it zooms off because it has like some kind of spring in it. That's kind of what you're doing with your golf swing here. We're coiling behind the ball. We're not relying on, let me clear all here. We're not relying on this muscle to hit the ball. We're relying on our legs and our big muscles in our back, and I shouldn't say back, I should say our abs, our core area is going to be what's hitting this ball. So I mean, we're really going to drive into that left leg and whack the ball. It's going to start making a different sound once you start doing this a little bit. You'll see that, you know, that ball is going to start making clicky sound. Then you know you're really starting to compress it. But once again, I'm going to go back to this one piece takeaway here. Tiger's wrist and arms, they really haven't. I want you to watch these here. I'm going to just sort of mark it and I'm going to take it away. But I want you to watch what his wrists do. His shoulders up here and his chest muscles right here is what's taking this club back. It's not necessarily his wrists or his forearms or anything else. It's this group of muscles up here in his shoulders, almost like a putt, but it's initiating his turn already. He's already turning his shoulders right here. I mean, he's starting to really get behind it at that point. So one thing I want you to think about is, this is a good little swing thought for you. Put your right shoulder, let me see if I can stop him here before he starts going to his downswing. Look how his right shoulder is kind of over his right knee. All right, I'm going to go up to your top of your swing. Our right shoulder is almost on our left knee. So this is going to feel totally different to you. And once again, that's fine. It's not a cardinal sin to feel different. But it's one thing for sure to, you know, work on just coiling. You don't even have to hit balls to do this. Just do this at home a couple times and work on getting that right shoulder closer to over your right knee at the top of your swing. And you'll see that you'll need to be tilted behind it a little bit more. And I'll go show Tiger here. He's tilted. Oops, that's a bad line. He's tilted a little bit behind. And you do have that in your swing at address here. There's obvious tilt here. It just gets lost a little bit. Minus no, you do a good job holding it. I shouldn't say it gets lost, but there's just no coil action. It's mostly arms. So what I want you to do is just start coiling. And again, I don't want to draw too much here to throw you off, but you're going to have to turn your hip a little bit more behind you. And you're going to have to get these shoulders really moving and get that back toward the target as much as you can. Now, you don't have to do it exactly like Tiger here, but you know, it's just as much as you can turn is going to help you move the ball even further and really pump it out there. All right, now obviously Tiger is a world-class player, you know, and he's a best in the world at this time of this video, and he hits it a mile because he did that. We don't, like I said, we don't have to match it all the way, but we definitely want to model after it and try to get behind the ball as much as we can and start pointing that back toward the target a little bit more. Or like I said, as of right now we're pointing somewhere over here. If we can get somewhere even over here, that's going to be probably 10 to 15 yards on your irons right then and there. All right, so just a couple things to work on, and I'll work on the next video here in just a second.